You've probably heard of a share sale.
You've probably heard of an asset sale.
But what's the difference?
Well, imagine a company is a big round plastic tub of celebrations. In an asset sale, you get to open the lid, pick out which chocolates you want, and leave the rest, because, let's be honest, who wants a bounty anyway? The chocolates you've taken are transferred to you, and then you own them. In a share sale, in contrast, you take the whole tub of celebrations, regardless of what's inside, bounties and all. The chocolate inside the tub maintains its identity, and they're all still celebrations, but the tub you hold the chocolates in is transferred to your ownership. So why do you need us? Well, whether you're buying the whole tub or just picking out which of your favourite chocolates you want, our job is to lift up the lid and look inside the tub and let you know what's inside, so you know what you're taking on. After all, it could be a load of empty wrappers, or someone could have swapped out the delicious Maltesers last year for some leftover After Eights.
Great, thank you, Will. But does it make any difference from a property perspective, Will? Wrong Will. Will?
Yes, it does. In a share sale, the property will almost always be held by the company, or should I say, the tub. When you buy the shares of the company, there is, in theory, no change to the way in which the property is held. However, it's really important for a buyer to carry out thorough due diligence in order to understand any risks associated with the premises held by the company. In an asset sale, the premises might be one of the assets to be acquired. Let's imagine the company, Celebration Tub Limited, has one leasehold property. The lease is granted to Celebration Tub Limited, but following the transfer, it needs to be in the name of Chocoholic Buyer Limited. This means either that the current lease needs to be terminated and a new lease granted to the buyer, or the current lease needs to be transferred or assigned to the buyer. Either way, the landlord's consent is going to be required, and this can give rise to additional costs and third-party delays.
Food for thought. Thanks, Will. What about the employee implications?
Thanks, Will. And thanks, Will. I'm glad you asked. Much like the property, in a share sale, any employees will be employed by Celebration Tub Limited, and that's not going to change if a buyer acquires the shares in Celebration Tub Limited. The buyer will take on all the employees, so thorough due diligence is therefore extremely important. It's vital to know if any of the celebrations have gone off, and if a buyer needs to mitigate any risk of celebrations, probably bounties, claiming they were unfairly disposed of. In an asset sale, employees are a massive factor. Did you know that in almost every asset transfer, the TUPE regulations give the seller's employees an automatic right to transfer to the buyer on their existing terms of employment, save for certain caveats. Even more importantly, the TUPE regulations include obligations to inform and consult with employees, and those obligations rest on both the buyer and the seller, and they can even extend to the buyer's employees. If that isn't enough to make your palms sweat, you should also know that dismissals that are made because of a TUPE transfer are likely to be automatically unfair, and the liability could rest with both the seller and the buyer.
That's scary stuff. So what's the first thing you do if you were about to buy or sell a business then?
Well, I'd look at a team of, say, 3 highly regarded professionals who would protect my interests and mitigate any risk that might be facing me.
Sounds sensible. I wonder where we might find such a dream team.